Keep it locked. Good rise, big city, 101.3 FM. Waking up with TaylaAndre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. How you feeling? Reggae in the park, soca in the park. This weekend was dope. This whole weekend was amazing. We are dealing with vicarious trauma. If you did not let the babies go outside because you were fearful of the shootings that have been taking place, the stabbings that have been taking place, the homicides, the murders that have been taking place, that's a form of vicarious trauma. If you're looking at what's going on in the city and you're making a decision that you would not otherwise make, that is a form of vicarious trauma. The whole city is currently going through it. My condolences to those that have lost life over the past hours, within hours, 98 hours. It's ridiculous. I'm sick. I'm tired. I don't know what the answers are. I went ahead and I asked online. I said, Facebook, I'd be like, neighbor, Facebook, what exactly is it going to take for these youth? What do they need? What is it that they want? What is it that they need in order to stop killing each other? It was a long list of things that people said these babies need. One of the probably hot buttons for a lot of people were parents. These parents need to go inside their kids' backpacks and take out the guns, the knives, the drugs. What is a 10-year-old doing with a pound of weed? What is a 13-year-old doing with a loaded gun? I stand by it. Time and time again, these babies are going to have access to firearms. You better get them in front of firearm Fred so they can know the difference and pull that trigger before that bullet ends up in somebody else and it can just end up somewhere on the ground going through a piece of paper. They can understand what that steel really feels like. Understand how to break it down, put it back together again. And make better decisions based on what they learned. I'm not telling you to raise killers. I'm telling you to make them be conscious of what they're actually doing, because the first time you pull that trigger out of anger, out of malice, out of spite, out of hatred, out of frustration, out of fear, most of the time that's the first time they've ever shot that gun, aside from the pows with the fireworks. 617-293-1011, that's Firearm Fred, for you or anyone else that you know that may or may not be interested. The children love it. I love it. I just want to say that Boston Police Department have met their match. The commissioner has met his match. Chief Gross has met his match. The men and women of the department have met their match. The fire department has met their match. If that sound at all discriminatory or threatening or inappropriate at all, well then so is black people have met their match. And I stand by it. I say it again and again. He need to be fired. Period. Mayor Walsh stated, if I'm elected, no form of discrimination will be tolerated in this city. Yet and still, there is a man that will come back to his job in 5 months in a week that made discriminatory comments. Black people have met their match. I'm going to get a t-shirt made. The police, Boston police, have met their match. And see if anybody feels threatened by that. If no one feels threatened by that, then you know what? I don't feel threatened by black people met their match. But if it sounds crazy for Tayla to come out the side of her neck and say, Boston Police Department, you have met your match. Well, I'm sorry, but a Boston police officer told black people they've met their match. So we're even, right? It means nothing, right? It's just words. I didn't mean it. I didn't think it was going to be hurtful to anyone. Message. Can't just say whatever you want to say. Dumbo. I'm not black emoji. Okay? Good rising, good rising. I'm in my feelings today, as most of the days I am. But I'm excited, and I feel good, and I feel amazing. Some of these stories, and then we're going to get to some of the comments about what do you think the youth need as far as not killing each other anymore, because these are babies killing babies. These aren't grown men with real issues fighting over something. These are babies that are lost. 2 Chainz turned his Atlanta trap house into a free HIV testing clinic. I think this is absolutely amazing. I've seen a couple pictures of people in front of the pink trap house laid up, and 2 Chainz is trying to do something different. I promote him and what he's doing as far as positivity is concerned. When 2 Chainz debuted his last album, Pretty Girls Like Trap Music, it came as much more than an MP3 download. Along with the songs, 2 Chainz introduced a living embodiment of his album, installing an all-pink trap house that will feature an art gallery inside Atlanta. While it's definitely an Instagrammable place, 2 Chainz installation is now serving much more than just an attraction. It's becoming a major help to the community. Last week, 2 Chainz turned his trap house art gallery into a church, offering a full offering to a pastor by the name of Michael Warnham. On July 4th, report stated he turned the house into an HIV clinic, offering free HIV tests to anyone who showed up. 2 Chainz announced that the free testing clinic on his Instagram, urging people in the area to show up and know their status, aka Take the Test Boston. Shout out to Take the Test Boston. Say that 15 times fast. Shout out to Miss Irving Goldstein. Shout out to ABCD, because they have been doing this work without accolades for years. We still have the poster here in the building. When I was on the Good Life Morning Show, and Take the Test Boston was at bus stops and train stations and in the middle of community centers. So shout out to Take the Test Boston. Know your status. Do not walk into a situationship, a one-night stand, trusting that the other person has your best interest in heart when people mistreat themselves every day. Okay? I'm not black emoji. In other news, Hollywood, Florida, to move forward with a plan to change street names after Confederate generals. Earlier this week, Hollywood, Florida commissioned vote to move forward with plans to change street names after Confederate generals that perhaps coincidentally or not lie in the heart of the city's African-American neighborhood. According to reports, the commission voted on 2 key measures. One measure will have the city waive its policy of conducting a poll of residents that would be affected by the name change to avoid any tensions. Commissioner Richard Blatter, who proposed that the measure, noted that if the commission takes the poll and most people don't want the street names changed, but they go ahead with the name change anyways, it will look as if the commissioner is not taking residents' opinion into consideration. And apparently he is not, because we just gonna go ahead and name some of these streets after Confederate generals. That sound more asinine than people saying, no, I like Jackson. Keep Jackson Station, Jackson Station. Keep Dudley, Dudley. Do you know who Dudley was? Do you know who Jackson was? Do you know who Bowdoin was? These names aren't just names for no reason. They're named after people. Good rising, be from Tennessee. They were named after people. And they were slave holders. They sure were. Faneuil Hall, even. Faneuil himself was one of the most notorious, one of the meanest slave owners. And people go straight to Faneuil Hall when they come to Boston. And they have all of the reenactments and the let's pretend we're back in the day with our old pilgrim-like clothing. I'm like, yo, when you gonna have naked Negroes walking down Faneuil Hall, Quincy Market? Because that's where they sold Negroes at. If we're gonna do depictions of what really happened in history, let's show the whole history. And for those who didn't know, there is actually a marker in the middle of the bay in Boston Harbor that is dedicated to the many slaves that lost their lives from the transatlantic trade. So if you didn't know, now you know. Just sharing a little bit of knowledge. Please don't ever believe anything that comes out of my mouth. Please don't believe anything I say ever. Do your own due diligence. Look it up for yourself. Educate yourself. And then come back and say, okay. The new Black Panther Party protest in Baton Rouge on the anniversary of Alton Sterling's shooting led to confrontation with police. So there's a new Black Panther Party. They demonstrated in Louisiana on Wednesday to mark the one-year anniversary of the police shooting that left Alton Sterling dead. It turned into a confrontation with police and ended with 7 people arrested after demonstrators attempted to march through a barricade line at police headquarters. Personal opinion, not fact. Why you just didn't leave the pigs in the pen? The pigs done put themselves in a pen. Why y'all just didn't spread out and line up the pen? Let the pigs stay in the pen and just line up outside. And I'm talking about the Louisiana pigs. I like my police officers. I like us. Those that are actually getting up, waking up, putting on their boots, putting on their vests, and go out and do a great job, come into the community and want to help, or live in the community and want to help. When I talk about police, I'm not talking about you. I am talking about... Ice Cube has a song called Good Cop, Bad Cop. And he talks about what good cop, why don't you put that bad cop on blast? Why don't you put that lying cop on blast? You just as bad as the bad cop. If you out here knowing what they're doing wrong, they're planting evidence, they're lying on folks, and you allow it to happen. You are no better. How are you any better? You being that good cop and still allowing these police officers to terrorize citizens, how are you any different than the cop that you detest? So, if I talk about you as a police officer, if I talk about you as a teacher, if I talk about you as a firefighter, if I talk about you in any capacity, and that shoe fits, then wear it. But if it does not, put it down and let somebody else pick it up and get in their feelings. Please do not get in your feelings if you know damn well that you go to school and you are a teacher for these babies, that you go out there and educate them, that you go the extra mile, that you put your own dollars. I'm not talking about you. If you're a police officer that straps up your boots and wants nothing more but to help the community that you live in, or help the community that you came from, or just want to help, period, I'm not talking about you. But if you see that bad cop doing some shiesty, and you allow it to happen, how are you any better? There's a new Black Panther Party in town, and this one seemed a little violent. There were actually the advocates, the 7 people that were booked into the parish prison on counts of entering and remaining after being forbidden and resisting an officer. Members of the new Black Panther Party showed up with a crew from Europe that was doing a documentary, and all of this will be documented, and we'll probably see the new Panther Party and this police altercation on film very, very soon. I will stay up to date with that and keep you guys informed as well. In Florida, 18-year-old arrested for shouting racist taunts and threatening an older woman with a shotgun. This took place in Ormond Beach, Florida. An 18-year-old was arrested earlier last week after pulling a shotgun, dyslexia is real, a shotgun on an older woman on a local road while shouting racist taunts at her in Daytona Beach, Florida. William Ramey was pulled over by police around noon on Monday, and police thought that he just wasn't having a good day, and he had to shoot a coon at the bank, according to reports. It all started when Ramey reportedly pulled out in front of a van of a 48-year-old Antoinette Seville, who was driving, and then slammed on his brakes, and Seville and the passenger, called police immediately, and I think it is absolutely insane that in 2017, we have a culture in our society where it is acceptable and accepted primarily because of our president, our leader in charge, the one that we take our cue from. So when we have the man sitting at the highest throne in the land, touting all types of racist, discriminatory rhetoric, how can we not accept the citizens of this bigot to do the very same thing? It breaks my heart, but this is what we come to. It breaks my heart, but we have a police officer who told black people that they have met their match, and he still has a job. He still gets to go back to making money and terrorizing a community that he damn near threatened. And I say that wholeheartedly because in the video, one of his photographs is a block away from my house. One of those photographs of the black men, homeless, sleeping in a cubby, he didn't record himself helping these men. He didn't record himself giving them shoes, or no one took a recording of him going to help them and feed them. And this isn't what was in that video. That picture, that photograph was a form of evidence. And he used that evidence for his own viewership. I'm completely, utterly disgusted. And he polices the streets that my children walk on every single day. I don't want him terrorizing my community. I don't want him terrorizing my children. I don't want him in Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan. Martha Stewart, oh Lord have mercy, Martha Stewart, formerly the whitest woman in America, before she did a bid for insider trading, was out here with rappers like Snoop Dogg and used the only for black people word, quote unquote, and she dropped the N-word. Lord have mercy. Thank you, Martha. Thank you. We do not appreciate this. I have no words. Martha Stewart, dropping the N-bomb. Why, Martha? Why? Who was the other one? Paula Deen. Auntie Paula Deen, a.k.a. Auntie Butter. I don't know, babies. I don't know. I don't have the answer. I just let y'all know what's going on in the world. I don't know what's going on. I just know that I'm tired. I'm so tired. Spring blooms from space. Satellite observations reveal how vegetation changes around the world with passing seasons. Long story short, I'll go ahead and post this story, but I want to let you know that we, the people, are the problem when it comes to why don't we see as much grass and trees and leaves and greenery like we once did? Why don't we see vegetation like we once had? And we're very blessed. I do want to say in the city of Boston, we are very blessed to have a balance of inner city urban living as well as having like makeshift parks, or, you know, when they plant trees that never grow taller than a man, they try. You know, we do need the oxygen. Without the oxygen, we will die. Sometimes I think we forget that. And I go back to the Disney movie, WALL-E, when they went ahead and destroyed the earth so bad they had to go into space and live. And that's probably why we're trying to make it to Mars anyways, because we are completely destroying Earth with all types of bottles, water bottles, and we are the problems, my love. We have animals that are on the endangered species list that have been on Earth for eons. But because of us, because of what we're doing, because of what we call living, we are eliminating life. And I know many people don't care. Like, when you see people throwing litter out the window, somebody will pick it up. I just created someone's job. Rah, 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 rah. Instead of taking responsibility for self and saying, you know what, I could have left it in my vehicle. I could have waited till I got to a gas station. I could have waited till I got home. I could go ahead and refill my jug instead of buying bottled water. We are the problem. And until we take responsibility, shoot, we don't even take responsibility for self. So I don't even know why I'm wishing we take responsibility for something as simple as Earth. Something as simple as Earth. There is a petition that's on change.org. Again, change.org. There is a petition to fire Boston police officer Joseph D'Angelo Jr., a.k.a. Black People Have Met Their Match. If this is something you're interested in, or if you just don't completely understand it, you can go ahead and go to change.org and just watch the video. And if the video does anything to you, then I would suggest going ahead and signing the petition. But if you watch the video and you feel absolutely nothing, then don't sign it. But I just want to make aware, you, the people, that there is a petition out there. And if you watch the video and you feel some type of way, then please, by all means, sign it. If you don't, that's perfectly fine as well. I respect your opinion, and maybe, some of us are just a little sensitive. Because, police have met their match. The commissioner has met his match. Jewish people have met their match. Latinos have met their match. Christians have met their match. Cancer patients have met their match. Asians have met their match. Baby, you done met your match. If somebody said that to you, would you take it as a threat? If it was a police officer, would you take it as a threat? My bad. I'm going to take a really quick break. How I get in my feelings sometimes. Sometimes I need a woosah. Right now I need a woosah. And I am going to play this amazing song. I have no clue who sings it, who made it. I love it. It's Logic, 44 bars. It is an instrumental. I've been in love with it ever since I first started playing it. I don't know if anybody else has loved it as much as I have, but it's dope. Big City 101.3 FM, waking up with TaylaAndre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. I feel good. I feel great. How you feeling? I'm not black, I'm OJ. Okay. Well, technical difficulties are real. Here you go. So I can't play music for you guys. You guys know this. And this isn't playing at all. So we're going to stop this. Exit, yes. Come on, Facebook. Let's go. YouTube will be right back. Hanging with Snoop and 50 don't get you a pass. No answers this way. Yes, hanging with Snoop. She got 98 for enough street cred. No, baby, it did not.
Zoom in again?
Yeah. Give me a minute. I'm going to read a couple comments regarding youth. And then I'll bring you in. However, you can stand, you can sit. Whatever makes you feel most comfortable. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Let's go. Alright, where you at, baby? Text me, message me. Oh, I'm so glad the battery didn't pop out. We were almost finished, y'all. OCCU Unleashed. That's who's in the building today. The youth, them. Hey. What's going on? Big City 101.3 FM. Woosah. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. I just needed a timeout for a second, but we right back. What do you think these youth need to stop killing each other? What do these youth need in order to live? What do these youth need in order to make peace with themselves, with their neighbors, with their friends, with their enemies, to just live? Some people said, first and foremost, respect for life. Then jobs, a prospect of upward mobility, and a notion things can get better. That's from Tom Sanford. Risa said jobs, mentors for them, and maybe parents. Yusuf said, us men got to do better. A better job of getting together to provide positive outlets for the youth. Definitely jobs, summer programming that gives options and real connections to seeing each other as family instead of a threat. But as far as me and I'm concerned, setting a positive image is really being out in these streets. LV Randolph went ahead and piggybacked off that. He said, except this is what happens when us men do that. A, we run to the government for help providing jobs for summer programming. 2, the efforts are usually usurped by people running for a job in government who want hood fame. Or 3, in order to sustain a program because we don't invest in ourselves, we invite others, the outsiders who suffer from the white savior complex and supremacy, to have come in because we need their resources. We don't take care of ourselves. We don't invest in ourselves. So we have somebody else from the outside coming in and running our programs instead of us running our programs, giving the youth what they need. We are being told what the youth need and then giving them that BS. Kids that are actually shooting each other won't show up ever, and the police will continue to solve that problem for us. Does that sound familiar, or am I off base? That's LV Randolph. Abu said outreach programs, jobs, trade, school scholarships, and an ass whooping. Yeah, do you think that's all these baby need? Is an ass whooping? Some other comments were Sharice. I love me some Sharice. She is absolutely amazing. She's an attorney. Beautiful soul. Love it. She said, loaded question. They need better upbringings. But in order to do that, systems of oppression must be broken and more resources to families. Better leadership, more people voting to ensure resources are deployed to our neighborhoods. Parents need better jobs to be home more. No grown-up can live off minimum wage jobs. More trauma and mental health treatment. Better housing. Homelessness is extremely high. Mentorship, youth jobs, and better schooling. Raymond said, oh gosh, here goes somebody with a clue. Cherie says, thank you. I mean, it's great to come up with short-term acute solutions like jobs or police presence. But if you don't attack the issue as a whole and look at the family dynamic, the neighborhood, the education, these community leaders keep consulting, we're consulting community leaders individually on one issue, on one problem. That's not going to help us solve a damn thing. And she went on to say, Evans is going to keep wondering why police presence isn't working. Well, duh, they don't respect the police, and they surely don't value life because their own life has been terrible. What kind of life would you can't value life when you don't see value in your own. own life, when you don't see value in yourself. Jerome says, that's a question for parents of these children to answer. Tara said, I don't think all parents know how to answer that question. Jerome's rebuttal was, well, maybe they should stop having children. At some point, mothers and fathers need to be held accountable. Tara said, I agree, more accountability is needed, but we need to also take into consideration the dynamics of the family. What other issues do parents have? What support systems are in place? It's more than just telling them what to do with their bodies. And Jerome and Tara went on and on and on. There's about 100 comments here. I'm not going to read all of them, but I definitely want you guys to understand, for those that aren't on Facebook, that aren't doing social media, I want you to understand what this conversation was about and how far it went and some of the solutions that came out. We need to get them out of the slave mentality as far as these youth are concerned. The slave mentality of worshiping material things, buying clothes, expensive cars, clubbing is not helping. It just increases the likelihood of the hood needing more money. Money should be somehow directed to the purchase of property or some businesses that have potential for return. And Carmen said, listen, what a person purchases is irrelevant. The problem is not those that have, that don't. The problem is being responsible for your actions. Parents without homes, food, education is the core of the problem. Yes, it starts with the family. The core of these mothers and fathers aren't taught right and wrong. It's that simple. These morals that we believe that these parents have, apparently they don't exist. You can't put it on parents to do something that they don't know how to do. You can't put it on parents to teach children. Like, for instance, how many times have you been in the grocery store and seen a child reach for something and the mother cussing out the 2-year-old like it's a grown man? Apparently, not having a conversation with a child. What did I tell you? No, you can't have it. But MF, little NIG, what I tell you, like, if this is a conversation that, or how she speaks to her 2-year-old, what education do you think is really being had there? How much better do you think she was raised? Or he, for that matter. Let's not exclude some of the fathers that are out here that don't know how to raise a child properly, because they weren't raised properly. You can't put it on parents that didn't have parents themselves. Can we be real? Can we be honest? We can't sit here and say, blame it on the parents, when the great-grandmother is 60-something years old, great-grandma is in her 40s, grandma is somewhere in her 20s, 30s, and the baby walking like this baby's raising babies. What do you want to, how do you tell the parent with the 10-year-old with a pound of weed to teach their child better, and the daddy got 3 pounds at home? And for anybody who doesn't know, this was a story that recently came out about a 10-year-old he had ounces of weed on him, and he had over $5,000 in his pocket. The little boy was banking it, making more money than half the adults out here. The problem is, the first thing we're ready to do is criminalize him, throw him in jail, put him in some type of custody and juvenile. And the truth of the matter is, that baby got a brilliant-ass mind. He is amazing. He's amazing. At 10 years old, you got $5,000 in your pocket, and you selling weed? Like, you can go and pick up weed. There's a billboard on the highway of a weed app. There's weed apps all over the place. You could download a damn app and have weed delivered to your house. I don't have the answer, but some other answers as far as what do the youth need in order to stop killing each other. Last week we had 11 shootings within 33 hours. We had 4 deaths. What do these babies need in order to stay alive? Chad said endless money or the end of capitalism. Darlene, cousin Titi Dollar, said God. Nisha said a sense of community where people aren't only concerned about themselves and their own. In order for you to respect one another, they must see and respect must be given to them, their communities, by adults. If one can't respect their neighbor, how do you expect the youth to respect another? It'll end up being a revenge over respect. Mishi said summer jobs, more funding, extracurriculars that surpass the school year into the summer. The K said fathers. T. Chanel said good role models. Fathers in their lives, not being behind bars, for parents to discipline their children without interference from the system. They need guidance. Israel said everything starts at home. Yes, we can give them jobs, show them this and that, open this to the club and that to the church, but it all starts at home. And it's pointless if there's no efforts being made underneath the roof of these youth. Yahida said these kids need ways to make something out of themselves. Teach them ways that they can engage. Let's create more music studios, theater art studios, movie production studios, more partnerships with sports that incorporate commentating, coaching, etc., computer and gaming programs. These kids are way more advanced in technology than us, so give them a platform. How about dance studios and things that they can learn and earn profit from while staying in their community and doing what they love? Amir said, anybody ever hear of a gang? Or anybody here been in a gang? Lived in a gang? I never pulled my mother into that nonsense when I was riding out. I'm not here to be talking slave talk and appealing to City Hall and police. This is a problem created by black men who ran the 80s and 90s. These are their sons, their brothers, their nephews, their offsprings of their friends. This is the black man's responsibility, and he needs to go ahead and work. Put these lazy cops on a walking beat. They had been standing right there. Nothing would have popped off down in Dudley. Javon Lissette, Suck Passe. How can all police be walking beats when there are so many 209A domestic violence calls for them to respond to? Domestic violence calls take up a lot of policing time. Not defending the police, but however, on this, we need to talk about the people in our circle who we know or think may have a gun. We need to school them tomorrow, not to just live for today, but to live for the future. When I tell you there are many comments about what is it that these babies need. We have a problem. Boston, we have a problem. What do these babies need in order to stop killing each other? In order to start taking care of each other, to have respect for themselves? What is it that they need to entertain themselves? Is it more than entertainment? My cousin Kamal Parker, shout out to Kat. I asked him if you had an unlimited amount of money, unlimited amount of money, what is it that you would do to help these babies? And he went all the way in. He said, first and foremost, these young men need to know who they are. They don't know who they are. They don't know their past. They don't know their history. They don't know where they hail from. They don't know the greatness that is within them, what they can accomplish. He said, give them something worth living for. First would be knowledge of the potential that they are and who they are, and the real unfiltered history and education. Next, I will give them a very defined economic understanding and education so they can understand how we ended up where we currently are. Next, I will give them with very clear understanding of global white supremacy and how the entire engine works and how we became the fuel for it. He said, for starters, I would also create a council of attorneys to look at the injustice in America that is responsible and find a way to repair through a 100-year minimum of wealth redistribution and favorable laws and policies for black people to level out the 400 years of the opposite. He said, I can go on and on and on. which I believe that he could. What do you believe, James Mackey? Let me go ahead and read James Mackey, because I very much so respect and love your opinion. Really quickly. Hey, good rising, good rising. Shay F. Freak. Job opportunities, poverty equals crime. She said they need fathers. Tracy Syfax, peace and blessing. Cops need to patrol our streets like they do the rich white neighborhoods and not just park and sit. Henry Young said they need to stop drugging these kids at young ages and put more emphasis on self-esteem and pride in oneself. Good rising, good rising. Birmingham in the building. The youth need a mentality change. James Mackey said he's a young entrepreneur. We need to teach and raise our young entrepreneurs not to be working class citizens, or else we as people will remain sadly #stuck on replay. We must teach the youth our story to embrace and claim our own independence and stop being dependent on others. Good rising, Big City 101.3 FM, waking up with TaylaAndre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. We have a youth in the building. Good rising. You want to sit? You want to stand? What you want to do?
I'll sit.
You'll sit? Go on and put it on your lip. OCC Youth Unleash, ready to make change. The OCC Youth Unleash is a youth-led nonprofit organization whom strives to increase youth engagement in the community centers as well as child-oriented programs around Boston. There are numerous community centers and resources for young people in our community, but it's difficult to find updated and current information about the activities at each community center. OCC Youth Unleashed solved this problem by creating and managing and consolidating a user-friendly mobile application for all youth activities and opportunities in the community centers across Boston. They also host engagement opportunities across local Boston community centers, aiming to reach a large population of youth. In addition, they currently have their website running. It's www.occyouthunleashed.com. It is a social business venture from the Boston Centers for Youth and Family. And we have a young man in the building. Good rising. The representative of OCC is here with us. How are you feeling? I'm super fantastic. What exactly, so I can read the bio, but what exactly is OCC?
So basically OCC Youth Unleashed is again, like you said, a social venture that determined that there was an issue with information at community centers. So if you wanted to figure out what was happening at a local community center, you literally had to walk into the building, or you had to make a phone call, which, as a youth myself, it just was inefficient. So we created this mobile application that kind of consolidates all community centers across Boston. So if you want to figure out what's happening at the Road Center, at Hyde Park, at West Roxbury, you can just log onto our mobile application and find amazing resources that the community centers have to offer. You can get just basically updated information about that. As well as like a social media platform. So if users want to interact with each other, let's say I'm a kid at Hyde Park and I want to go play basketball at the Road Center, but I have no clue who's there. I can log into the mobile application and just say, hey, is anybody at the Road Center, or anybody at Hyde Park, or would somebody want to join me? That kind of gives the youth an opportunity to interact with people that they don't even know, as well as opportunities where they can increase youth engagement within community centers as numbers intend to increase. That makes sense.
Of course it does. How exactly? So I think this is genius. I actually had a similar idea. It was marquees in Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan, stating community events that are coming up for people who are stuck in traffic to see what's going on. And it really didn't sound effective because, well, what if there's 17 different events going on? The marquee can only hold 2 or 3.
Yep.
So this is that idea on fleek, actually. So let's say, for instance, Vine Street Community Center is having an event next Tuesday.
Yep.
And now it's no longer held at Vine Street. It's now at the church, the Cape Verdean Church on Dudley.
Mm-hmm.
are there alerts?
Yep.
Or can you sign up for alerts to say, I want to go to this event, and if anything changes with that event, you get an alert to your phone saying, this event that you said you wanted to keep an eye on, there's changes that have been made, here are the changes.
Yep, so there's notification features that we have implanted into the application where, I guess, one user will be able to know who among them friends are actually attending that event, if any event got updated or changed. It will automatically get sent to that user. Users get directions to this certain event or program, as well as they can sign up for an event. So let's say I'm the Vine Street, and I can only hold 14, youth. Instead of the first 14 youth coming in, ahead of time they can just automatically sign up to the app, and the Vine Street would know that their spots are full, and it would automatically get it would shut down or something. Or it'd be a waiting list or something like that, depending on what they personally prefer.
Keep it on your lip.
Okay. So basically it's just we implemented a bunch of cool little features that we know that the youth will want to know, or at least tend to the youth, because we are youth, so we built an app for youth by youth.
For youth by youth.
Yeah. So we basically know basically what would I want to see. Yeah. What would I want to see basically in the application, if that makes sense.
So you created what you would want.
Basically, yes.
And you were one of the creators.
Yes.
Your role is...
I handle most of the application. So I handle most of the technology side, the database.
So you are the 101010 guy.
I'm the 1010 guy.
So you are a youth in the city of Boston. How old are you?
I'm actually 22.
You're 22?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you could pass for 14.
I know, I'm a baby.
That's fine though, that's fine. But we have youth that, last week was one of the deadliest weeks of summer so far. I hope let's leave it right where it's at. What helped you stay out of trouble? If maybe you did get in trouble.
No, I stayed out of trouble. What kept me out of trouble was community centers. So I spent most of my time at the Armory Community Center. Mm-hmm. And I've been actually working there for about 6 years. Before that, I basically me and my neighborhood buddies. The Armory Community Center is literally 10 seconds from my house. So we spent most of our time there playing basketball, attending a couple of events and programs there. So basically, anytime of my free time, I was basically there. Just
was it your mother sending you go to the community center?
No, it was more so we just usually played outside. And later the community center is my back door, so they had a basketball court there. And then we would, when I was really, really young, we would go to that basketball court. And as I got older, you were able to actually go inside and play basketball. So while I was there, I just started getting more involved. And then I kind of got a leadership role there. My first job was actually at the community center. I kind of just kept on going up in the ranks. So it just kept me busy. And then basically the reason why we started this business was because of the community center. United Way came to the Armory Community Center and was hey, we want your community center to start a venture program. Would you be interested? And our CEO, one of my best buddies that grew up with me, also grew up in the community center. He came to me. He was hey, you want to do this with me? And, myself as well as 4 other members, we just came together. We all basically grew up in this community center. And that's how we just started forming ideas. We got access to mentorship, business models, or business ideas, convention seminars that we were able to go to. So we had access to a bunch of amazing resources that we probably wouldn't have access to if we weren't part of this community center.
So if you didn't have the community center, do you think you'd be one of these other gentlemen out here making wrong choices?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I have tough parents who have very, very strict parents.
Are they West Indian?
Oh, they're Haitian.
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah. So,
you're 22 and you still can't go outside without permission.
No, I still go. I go out. They're just tough. They're really, really strict. So they kept me they were the parents you can't go outside unless I'm home, stuff like that. So they raised me under their wing. But as I was getting older, I started to make my own choices, and I just made the right ones.
Do you speak Creole?
Sort of, not too well.
I understand.
Yeah,
completely understand.
Yeah.
So for for youth, for parents, what is your advice for parents as far as, keeping the kids out of trouble, or how does this app help them? How old do their children have to be? Like, I have a 6-year-old. Can this app work for my 6-year-old?
So I guess we kind of have two different type of target demographics.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of have the parents. So if I'm a parent and I want to find access for my youth to go to an after-school program or summer camp, or some type of basketball, where community centers basically offer a lot of this information that you would want. I can go on the application and find or sign up my kid for these events and programs, and list them to summer camps, into basketball conventions, into using 3D printers that the Tobin Community Center actually has.
Are you serious?
Yeah, a lot of people didn't know that Tobin Community Center actually has 3D printers. That even my school has. So they have top of the notch stuff, and people just
What's
don't.
your school?
I go to Wentworth University.
Where?
Wentworth University.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And the Tobin Center has 3D printers.
Yep.
That are comparable.
As in my school.
To Wentworth.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So and again, it's just that lack of information. Once you know about something, you're more likely to
utilize the resource.
Exactly.
So what else? What other community centers? Are you familiar with the community centers and what they have available and the resources that they have? Can we talk a little bit about different community centers and resources that they may or may not have?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. A lot of them I know. I can give you a few. Like the Armory Community Center has a kickboxing that kind of started up a year ago, which is pretty cool. There is Tobin Community Center again. They have the whole 3D printer. Curtis Hall does they have their own swimming pool indoors, which they have their own schedule for. Jacob Pool has
where
Curtis Hall by literally in Jamaica Plain, right off Forest Hills. So it's 2 minutes from Forest Hill.
Where is this?
Curtis Hall.
Curtis Hall.
Yeah, 2 minutes from.
So we're at Forest Hills. Where are we going?
Just go straight down towards Jamaica Plain, and it'll be on your left.
So Washington Street or South Street.
I think that whole strip is Washington Street.
Okay.
If you go straight down, and then by if I'm going right into Jamaica Plain, let me see what's on the top of my head. Yeah, it's just it's where all the little stores are.
I'm trying to think of where it's in comparable to Faith Naturals. Because I'm always at Faith's, and I can just stop in and go swimming real quick. I didn't even know there was a pool over there.
Yeah, I have a pool indoors. So there's a lot. I can't think of all of them off the top of my head.
No, that's fine.
Because my head's always.
But there's a lot. Can you pull up the app now? So I'm going to give you the opportunity to.
Oh, my phone's actually not working right now.
Oh, Lord,
so I can't pull it up.
You can't pull up the app?
Yeah, my phone's I gotta go fix it tonight, or as soon as I get out of here. I don't know. It started messing up last night, so I can't pull it up.
It started messing up tomorrow. Is that what you?
No, it started messing up last night. Sorry if I messed up.
That's fine.
But you can just right now we're on the iOS store. It's just called. You can just type in Unleashed or Youth Unleashed, and it'll come up. And then our Android application will be releasing within the next week.
So Android had to wait, y'all.
Yeah,
Android
had to wait a little bit.
You see how y'all do it? You see this?
But it's releasing within the next week, so.
That's amazing. Mama, you on the line? Carla, are you there, baby? Good rising, Carla, you live? I'm sorry, go ahead, baby.
At the Mildred Community Center, what do they have for the children there?
Oh, Mildred has one of the most events and programs there. I can't tell you off the top of my head. It's on that. If it's on our mobile application, if you were to download it, you would be able to see a good amount of events and programs that the Mildred has to offer.
Only if you have an iPhone, because they don't like us Android users yet.
Give it a week. Give it a week.
Give it a week.
Give it a week. Yeah.
Do you have any other questions, Mama?
Have a pool?
Does the Mildred have a pool?
Does the Mildred have I don't think the Mildred has a pool.
But all that information would be in the app,
yes.
Whether or not they have a pool,
yep.
What hours they're open,
yep.
Contact information.
Yeah, it's all there.
So everything that you would want is what's in the app.
Yes.
Everything that you would want in the app is there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have another call on the line, 617-282-0062. We are currently in the studio with OCC Youth Unleashed. They created an app that gives us all the information on all the community centers across the city, the programs and the resources that they have. And this young man is absolutely amazing. He does the technology side of the app, the 1212s or 001s. 617-282-0062. What questions do you have? Good Rising Caller, you're live.
Hey, good Rising, my sister.
Peace and blessing, miles and love.
Yes, what's the young brother's name?
My name is Chris Michael.
Chris Michael. Good Rising, Chris Michael.
Good Rising.
So, I just wanted to congratulate you. I see, you're doing good things and you're preparing your future for a brighter day. And I just wanted to say that, as for me, I was born, I'm Haitian American. I was born in America, born in New York, but I learned my Haitian language. You see what I'm saying? So I just wanted to relay my little, I want to say to you is that, as far as a young brother, you want to get into your language because, as you can see, we all are foreign to this land, a lot of us come from other places and we tend to forget where we originally come from, which is a major problem with us, as you can see. African Americans think they're Black American and all these different people, and we're all one person, one people. So I just wanted to get you to, get back into your language. Don't forget your language. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. 100% agree with you. 100% correct.
Can you make an app that teaches people like me that want to learn Creole that only know a certain words? That would be dope if you do 1010s. But I do know like making apps is very expensive. But if possible, I would like an app that teaches me Haitian Creole.
I think there's apps out there already that at least teaches you different language. I'm assuming there should be a...
Yeah, like Spanish, French, Italian.
There should be one that teaches you Haitian Creole. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, maybe it's only for iPhone users.
Maybe. I'll look into it. But I know a couple of kids in my school, they developed a application that taught them some type of language, but I don't remember. So I'm sure there should be one for it. I'm pretty sure there's one that does all languages.
So what school do you attend that children are over here just making apps on the fly?
Well, like Wentworth is a technology school.
Oh,
so,
yeah. College.
Yeah.
I'm thinking as well. I'm really proud of you. Like, I have to say that I'm so proud. What neighborhood are you from?
West Roxbury.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what high school did you go to?
I went to Boston Academy.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And what was your favorite subject in school?
Math. Math was definitely my favorite.
Math is one of the hardest subjects on earth. For some people. I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
I understand money. I don't understand math.
Yeah, I guess I was just always good at it. It's funny because in second grade I actually got kicked. Well, I didn't get kicked back. I went to summer school because I was bad at math. And then while I was in summer school, I got good at math. So ever since then, I've been pretty good at it.
So what was that change? Or why did that change take place? How did it take place?
I have no clue. It was like years ago. But I just remember that I was bad at math and then I got good at math. So ever since then, I just stuck with it. And it was always like I always caught on pretty quick with it. So.
And was it fun to you?
Yeah, it was challenging. I like challenges. That's always a fun thing. So, as soon as a challenge, I just keep at it until I solve it. So it's that kind of like the difficulty that makes it fun.
So you like word problems and stuff like that?
Yeah, I like word problems. They're cool.
So some of these comments that I was reading earlier, as far as what the youth need, what do the youth need? You are the youth. What do you guys need? You created an app because you guys needed a way to connect with community centers and to see the resources and the programmings that they have. But is that the solution? I know you don't have all the answers, right? But is that the solution for most youth, is just having access to community center and just going to a community center? In your opinion, being a part of this generation, what do these youth lack? What do they need in order to prevent situations like last week where we had 11 shootings in 33 hours?
I would say it's a lot. Definitely access to resources is one. Jobs is another. And I think just giving kids an opportunity to like fulfill their dreams. So I know, like, I personally, like, I don't want to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. And I know, like, that's one of the biggest things in our society is that you grow up, you go to school for, like, you know, so many years, so you can get a job and then work for another 20, 40 years. And that's just like a lifestyle I want to do. Like, I definitely want to. I always say, like, I want to retire by the time I'm 26. And after that, I just want to travel the world and, you know, have a good time. But, you know, other people are like my mom. She's been here in America since she was like 20-something. And she's been working for, you know, how many years? Like 20 plus years now. So I think it's giving kids that opportunity to say, hey, you know, how can I be my own business owner? How can I be my own job is key. Or my own boss is key. I know I don't want to work for somebody for the rest of my life. So it's giving me that opportunity to, you know, be my own person. Does that make sense?
That absolutely makes sense. So you kind of fall in line with Kamal when he